Live from Lakewood, Colorado, it's WrestleChat TV! And now, here's the host of WrestleChat TV, Andrew Vega!
Good morning, everybody! Or good afternoon, depending on where you're at, and welcome to the first ever live edition of WrestleChat TV. I am, of course, your host, Andrew Vega. I am so excited to be doing this podcast, and I cannot wait to get it started. So let's go ahead and get rolling with some of the latest news and headlines from around the world of wrestling. First of all, surrounding the shooting at the Performance Center, the ast updates are as follows. Last Monday on Raw, last Monday, police responded to a trespassing call at 1:30 p.m. at what they described as a semi-professional NXT wrestling organization, which happened to be the Performance Center. Afterwards, the man who was eventually shot had previously been banned from stepping foot on WWE property, and he was reportedly quote-unquote obsessed with one of the female talents working at the Performance Center. The man was carrying a knife, and when two OCPD officers responded to the call, he charged at them with the knife. The officers repelled 75 to 100 feet backwards before making the decision to fire a shot at the attacker. One shot was reportedly fired to take him down. The man is currently undergoing surgery at the hospital. That was as of last Monday, and the gunshot wound is said to be life-threatening. Employees were currently being questioned at the time. We don't know at this point whether or not the questioning is over, but last Monday, as of the posting on WrestleZone.com, WWE employees were currently being questioned about the shooting. OCPD cannot release the name of the man. Well, that's actually false. They released a press conference later on in the day. Triple H, of course, had the following to say on Twitter regarding the incident. He said, quote, "Unfortunately, a deranged individual with no WWE affiliation who had a court order prohibiting him from being on WWE property was involved in an incident with an Orange County Sheriff's deputy in the parking lot of the WWE Performance Center. We defer to the Orange County Sheriff's Department for further comment and information." Of course, the further comment came in a press conference that the OCPD held later that day. Again, they reiterated that the injuries suffered by the attacker were life-threatening. But if you want, when asked if there was anything they could have prevented the attack, the sheriff responded by saying that when someone has a, quote, fixation on you, you can't predict what'll happen. TMZ later confirmed the man who was involved in the Performance Center shooting was in fact Armando Alejandro Montalvo, who was arrested once before on August the 4th after an incident which took place at the Performance Center. Additionally, Montalvo has had numerous violent run-ins with WWE and was even accused of spreading his own feces and urine on the walls of the Performance Center. TMZ also noted Montalvo allegedly showed up at the Performance Center in the past dressed in a wrestling outfit and was banging on the windows of the facility. Montalvo was threatening to, quote, kick everyone's ass because WWE would not offer him a job. Police have had to subdue Montalvo at gunpoint in the past. And again, the latest update, according to a MyNews13.com article, police were called to the Performance Center and were responding to a trespassing call. The man who was eventually shot by authorities was not supposed to be on WWE property and had previously been court-ordered to stay away from the Performance Center. Sheriffs noted some type of altercation took place between the man and authorities, to the point where a deputy felt he needed to draw his weapon and fire at the man. The man was taken to the Orlando Regional Medical Center, and we are awaiting information on his identity. Again, his identity has been revealed. That is the latest information I have for you. Feel free to check out the internet. Feel free to Google it or anything of the sort if you want to find out further information. But that is currently the information I have on file about the shooting at the Performance Center. On to another big topic. Jimmy Superfly Snuka, WWE Hall of Famer, has been suspected, arrested, and charged with third-degree murder as well as involuntary manslaughter, both felony charges, in the death of his former girlfriend Nancy Argentino on May 11th, 1982. Subsequently had his Legends contract suspended by WWE, who also issued the following statement. Quote, WWE expresses its continued sympathy to the Argentino family for their loss. Ultimately, this legal matter will be decided by our judicial system, end quote. And afterwards released this statement regarding his Legends contract. They said, quote, Jimmy Snuka's non-wrestling Legends contract has been suspended, and we are currently removing his images from our media platform pending the outcome of this case, end quote. This is, of course, extremely similar to what happened to Hulk Hogan a few weeks ago, after comments stemmed from racial remarks that he made during an interview several years back. The Allentown Morning Call's Lori Manson Schroeder has published a piece revealing the primary evidence against Snuka, which resulted in authorities reopening the case. According to Schroeder, the three main factors cited in Snuka's indictment are as follows: the medical and forensic evidence from the autopsy report differing from Snuka's explanation of the incident, Snuka's many conflicting versions of what happened on the night in question, and testimony from Buddy Rogers and others about previous domestic abuse incidents involving Snuka. You can read more about this incident as well as the shooting at the Performance Center at WrestleZone.com. To make things quicker for you, be sure to search either Performance Center shooting or Jimmy Snuka in the search bar on the top right of the screen. Speaking of arrests, Bram, current TNA superstar, for those of you who don't know, TNA stands for Total Nonstop Action Wrestling. The current TNA star Bram was also arrested on felony charges, and he has been indefinitely suspended from TNA. He has been charged with 2 felonies, one for domestic battery by strangulation, and one for false imprisonment. TNA then issued the following statement, quote, TNA has been advised by the Gulfport, Florida Police Department that Thomas Latimer, known as Bram, has been arrested and charged with 2 felony counts of domestic battery and false imprisonment. TNA is working to gather facts and obtain additional information related to the arrest. The charges against Thomas Latimer are serious, and he is immediately and indefinitely suspended from any future TNA-sanctioned events, awaiting the outcome of the case, end quote. Again, that statement comes from TNA Vice President of TV and Talent, John Gaburick. Along with that statement from TNA, the Gulfport Police Department issued the following. On August 30th at approximately 6:00 a.m., officers responded to a call about a disturbance in an apartment at 3205 58th Street South. There, they encountered Thomas R. Latimer and a woman who identified herself as his girlfriend. The officers observed evidence indicative of a physical altercation, and their investigation revealed that, after the couple had been arguing, the woman felt threatened and sought refuge in her bedroom. Latimer followed her into the bedroom, closed the door, and refused to allow her to leave. He then pushed the woman onto the bed and was holding her down by her neck. Latimer, who is a wrestler with TNA Impact Wrestling, was charged with domestic battery by strangulation and false imprisonment. Both are felony charges, and he is currently being held in the Pinellas County Jail, end quote. What's interesting about this is actually I ended up finding out that current WWE Diva and #1 contender to the Divas Championship, more on that later, known as Charlotte, the daughter of the Nature Boy Ric Flair, actually was married to Bram back in 2013, but the incident did not involve her, but rather could involve another woman named Ashley Allen, who, as noted on Twitter, could currently be dating Bram. Of course, I don't think that is the case anymore, but you know what I mean. Now that we've covered all the serious news and all that, now it's on to more non-related, a lot less violent news. This one always makes me laugh whenever I look at it. Do you guys remember this?
Excuse me, my name is Mr. John Laurinaitis, and I am the former Executive Vice President of Talent Relations and the former General Manager of both Raw and SmackDown.
And is also the engaged fiance of the mother of Nikki and Brie Bella. That always makes me laugh. WWE acknowledged this on their website with the following statement, quote, "Talk about people power. As revealed in the Instagram account of the mother of the Bella twins, Kathy Colas, former Raw General Manager John Laurinaitis is now the future stepfather of Nikki and Brie, and father-in-law of Daniel Bryan. The happy couple celebrated their engagement over dinner with Nikki and Johnston, who Laurinaitis battled and defeated, sadly, at WWE Over the Limit 2012. Leave it to the lovely Bella women to get two old rivals to put down their swords and pick up their wine glasses." That story always makes me smile every time I read it. Speaking of John Cena, there were numerous reports stemming on the internet that this past weekend at a live event in Hampton, Virginia, he apparently was injured after suffering some sort of head injury after a botched spot in a street fight with Kevin Owens. This is, however, not the case. He is just fine and is not expected to miss any ring time whatsoever, and that he is just totally fine. There were numerous reports stemming that this could be related to his previous nose injury and emergency surgery after what happened to him in a match on Raw with Seth Rollins. But again, this is not the case. He is just fine. He will be, I suppose, on Raw tonight, and he will not miss any ring time. Let's go ahead and take a quick break from our news coverage and check out the chat room. Obviously, there's no activity currently going on. To those listening now, welcome to the broadcast. I just wanted to mention that this is again the first ever broadcast of WrestleChat TV. We are going to be broadcasting live on YouTube as frequently as possible. You can check out our schedule by checking out our website. I will get the link for you posted in the description of the video later on this afternoon. In other news, Seth Rollins has topped the Pro Wrestling Illustrated 500 which was apparently subsequently covered by Forbes in an article on their website. More on the PWI 500 later. In another interesting piece of news, Eric Rowan is teasing his return as the possible mystery partner for Ambrose and Reigns at Night of Champions as they go on to face the Wyatt family, Luke Harper, Eric Rowan, and Braun Strowman. In NXT news, the Dusty Rhodes Classic has kicked off. Unfortunately, I have been slacking in watching NXT the last few days, and I haven't caught up yet, so I don't really know the brackets, but I will know them tomorrow, and I will be posting them, hopefully on our website, and hopefully I will get that to you guys as soon as I can. Speaking of NXT, in related news, Bayley, the current and new WWE NXT Women's Champion, is slated to feud with Dana Brooke and Eva Marie, which will possibly, and this is a possibility, lead to Eva Marie being crowned Women's Champion in the culmination of a big push that the company is giving her. Also, an NXT DVD has been confirmed and is set for release sometime in March of next year. It is currently working with the title of The Best of NXT and could include best of matches from the history of NXT, including a match taped at the Arnold Classic between Cesaro and Neville. A couple more pieces of news to go here. Concern for TNA stemming from their their television contract with Destination America, as it will possibly be canceled at the end of this month. Again, nobody knows if this is going to be the case. Nobody knows if it's going to be true. There's a lot of speculation backstage. There's a lot of people worried about payroll, things like that. So, of course, I do wish TNA the best of luck in the future. Personally, I don't want to see another TV contract go up in smoke. This was, of course, firstly the case with Spike, where they were not able to reach a deal with Spike to renew their contract, thus having to find a new network. They found Destination America, who is a subsidiary of Discovery, the Discovery family of networks, and there is speculation that they could opt out of their contract later on at the end of this month, in what is possibly further explanation as to, or further confirmation that this may or may not be true. TNA has yet to schedule any TV tapings for the month of October. But again, this is all speculation. Nobody knows if it's true or not. The only way to find out is to sit out the rest of the month and hopefully wait it out. Also, did anybody ask for pie? And no, I'm not talking about the Rock's pie. But it's not that kind of pie. WWE stock was down the amount of pie, 3.14% on Friday, closing at $18.83 a share. I don't know how they're currently doing on Wall Street, but I wouldn't be surprised if, due to the Labor Day holiday, that Wall Street is closed, due to the fact that it is a United States holiday. Moving on to other interesting news around the world of wrestling, it is time to celebrate some current wrestler birthdays from yesterday. Hooray! So, wrestler birthdays include Braun Strowman, as previously mentioned, of the Wyatt family, who turned 32 yesterday. Also, former WWE diva Jillian Hall turned 35. Former WWE star Low Ki, aka Kaval, turned 36. Former WWE WCW star The Barbarian turned 57, and WWE Hall of Famer Wendy Richter turned 54. So those are your wrestler birthdays for September the 6th, which was yesterday. Moving on now to back to the Pro Wrestling Illustrated 500 charts. As previously mentioned, Seth Rollins, current WWE World Heavyweight Champion and United States Champion, topped the list at number 1. Coming in at number 2 was John Cena, who achieved his 12th consecutive top 10 ranking. Coming in third is former TNA star AJ Styles. In fourth is Roman Reigns. Fifth is, okay, this is going to be a little bit tricky for me to pronounce, Shinsuke Nakamura, possibly Japanese star. Wouldn't be surprised. In sixth, we have Randy Orton. In seven, one half of the Briscoes, Jay Briscoe. In eighth, we have Rusev. Ninth is Alberto El Patron, otherwise known as Alberto Del Rio, in his tenure in WWE. And 10th is the man who loves to fight, Kevin Owens. The print edition of the PWI 500 is scheduled to be released September 29th. However, you can download the digital edition right now for $350 at pwi-online.com. That sound means we are now moving on to our Twitter trends of the day. In today's Twitter trend, last Friday marked the 20th anniversary of WCW Monday Nitro, and Eric Bischoff was extremely busy on Twitter responding to a bunch of fan tweets, including these tweets. First, we have a tweet from Christopher Kyle at Demon Duck. It may be bittersweet, but happy anniversary to at E. Bischoff. 20 years ago today, his vision, WCW Nitro, aired its first episode. Eric Bischoff responded by saying, quote, "Not bittersweet at all. Grateful to have been a part of a strategy that raised the business to new highs and changed it forever." Joshua Alberon at JoshX1993 posted the following. Hashtag Monday Night War began 20 years ago today when at Ted Turner III and at E. Bischoff launch hashtag WCW Nitro to compete versus at WWE hashtag Raw. Eric Bischoff responded by saying, quote, "It was a great moment in time. It's a pleasure to look back and see just how much Nitro changed the industry forever." Then we have Bad Blue 13 posted at Eric Bischoff, "Amazing seeing how you changed wrestling. You're a wrestling legend, and I'm glad as a young fan to watch WCW on the WWE Network." Eric Bischoff responded to Bad Blue 13 with the following tweet. At WWE Network is one of the best things to happen to the industry in a long time. Legacy footage, new content, great. A couple more tweets here. First one from WWE and Wrestling Facts at WWE at Facts and Trivia at Eric Bischoff. "Thank you for making WCW Nitro what it was and for creating so many memories. Incredible how many epic moments in 6 years only." Bischoff responded by saying, "We did a lot of things that had never been done before, created interest in a solid but stagnant genre. Hashtag grateful." Luke at Lukey Nev tweeted the following. "Watching some classic WCW Monday Nitro. Love reliving the NWO and Sting feud. Thanks at E. Bischoff for everything. WCW will live forever." Bischoff responded with this tweet: "Thanks, Luke. Amazing how the NWO continues to be such a solid brand. See NWO product at every event I attend." And finally, we have a tweet from Tad Winter at Tad Winter. At Eric Bischoff, happy birthday to Nitro. I'll always be a bigger fan of WCW. You revolutionized the business. It needs to be revolutionized again. Eric Bischoff responded by just saying 2 words: stay tuned. So those are your current Twitter trends for the day, and now it's time to move on to one of my favorite topics, and that is the release of WWE 2K16 with none other gracing the cover than Stone Cold Steve Austin. In today's WWE 2K16 news, I will be revealing to you the current updated roster of names that have been confirmed for the game, either on their website or otherwise. And this is a long list, so bear with me. First, we have Adam Rose, then one half of the Vaudevillains, Aiden English, Alexa Bliss, Alicia Fox, Andre the Giant, Bad News Barrett, Bam Bam Bigelow, Batista, Big Show, Bo Dallas, Booker T, Brie Bella, Brock Lesnar, Cameron, Cesaro, Chris Jericho, Colonel Mustafa, Curtis Axel, Daniel Bryan, Darren Young, Dean Ambrose, DDP, Diamond Dallas Page, Dolph Ziggler, Edge, Emma, Eric Rowan, Eva Marie, Fandango, Finn Balor, Fit Finlay, General Adamon, Goldust, Heath Slater, Hideo Itami, Jack Swagger, JBL, John Cena, Kalisto, Kane, Kevin Nash, Kevin Owens, Lex Luger, Lord Steven Regal, Macho Man Randy Savage, oh yeah, The Miz, Naomi, Neville, Nikki Bella, Paige, Randy Orton, Ravishing Rick Rude, Ric Flair, The Rock, Roman Reigns, R-Truth, Ryback, Sami Zayn, Santino Marella, Seth Rollins, Sergeant Slaughter, Sheamus, Simon Gotch, Sin Cara, Stardust, the $1 billion princess Stephanie McMahon, Steve Austin, again as mentioned, he is on the cover of the game, Sting, Summer Rae, Tamina Snuka, Titus O'Neil, Triple H, Tyler Breeze, Tyson Kidd, The Ultimate Warrior, The Undertaker, and Zack Ryder. Again, all these names are either listed on WWE 2K's website and or confirmed otherwise to be in the game. So there you have it. There is the roster as of right now for WWE 2K16. Also confirmed this past week, there will be no demo to be released for the game, as developers are focusing on making the final product, quote, as awesome as possible. And here's hoping that's the case. Next is another interesting topic. Now we're going to move on to a preview of tonight's edition of Monday Night Raw.
Tonight is the night, bright lights, bright crowd, everything to throw down, everybody get loud. Tonight is the night, can't miss, when we turn it to the ground, everybody get down. Tonight is the
So, in a preview of Monday Night Raw tonight, first of all, we're going to get some reactions from the events of last week. Some reactions from last week's episode, as well as the following preview, which has been posted on WWE.com courtesy of Anthony Benigno. Seth Rollins has 2 opponents. Dolph Ziggler potentially has 2 girlfriends. The New Day might have 2 challengers. Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns are outnumbered 2-3. And Charlotte has 2 weeks to prove to the world that she can live up to the hype. See what WWE.com predicts will await these bitter rivals when the curtain rises on an all-new Raw tonight at 8/7 Central on USA Network, with exclusive pre-show analysis at 7:30 only on the award-winning WWE Network. First, bow to the Queen. Among all the players involved in the Divas Revolution, one woman has finally emerged as the leader of the pack, and the next in line for Nikki Bella's Divas Championship. Charlotte was officially named #1 contender after winning the first ever Divas Beat the Clock challenge, and began her campaign in earnest by beating Tamina Snuka on SmackDown and petitioning the Authority to have her title match before Nikki's Bellatron, her countdown until she becomes the longest reigning Divas champion ever, reaches 0. It's safe to say that champion and challenger will have a few choice words for each other, but will Team Bella spoil Charlotte's attempt before it even gets going? Brothers in harm? Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns are two rough fellas, yet the ever-expanding Wyatt family seems to have simply overpowered the former Hounds of Justice, thanks to the addition of Mobile Mountain Braun Strowman. The Black Sheep single-handedly tore both Ambrose and Reigns to pieces, which means they've got their work cut out for them if they're ever going to beat back the Wyatts again. Given that their relationship with their former third man is strained at the moment, will they be able to find an equalizer to level the playing field against the new face of fear? Tag team turmoil. This is one of my favorite subjects of the current WWE product. The Dudley Boys beat the New Day on Raw, and they beat the Primetime Players on SmackDown, which means in the 2 weeks since they've been back, Bubba Ray and Devon have beaten both the WWE Tag Team Champions and the tandem that's still owed a rematch for said titles. Did the boys from Dudleyville just muscle their way to the front of the line? Expect further testimony on the matter tonight. Slippery when wet. If Rusev can't quite find a way to put Dolph Ziggler to bed between the ropes, he is certainly proving very crafty at sabotaging his personal life. Thanks to some stealthy maneuvering from Summer Rae, the show-off found himself in a very compromising position last week, and Lana seemed to flirt with the idea of dumping him as a result. A SmackDown appearance on Miz TV did nothing to help matters. So now that this rivalry has really gotten personal, what's next on Raw? And finally, Double Trouble. It's shaping up to be a very long night of champions for Seth Rollins, who has to defend both his WWE World Heavyweight title against Sting and his US Championship against John Cena. And despite Rollins being more than ready for a piece of the stinger, the Architect was less than thrilled that the Authority granted Cena his rematch clause for the same night. He shouldn't have been surprised. His relationship with his bosses is strained at the moment, thanks to his insistences he's as good as Triple H. Plus, with Sheamus always lurking in the wings, there's a chance he may not even make it to Night of Champions with both of his titles intact. How will Rollins find his way out of this mess, or can he? And where is his statue? Tune into Raw tonight at 8/7 Central, only on USA Network, to find out. So again, there is your Raw preview. Raw tonight is going to be emanating from... I actually really don't know where it's going to be emanating from. proves I need to do my research. But Raw will be live tonight on the USA Network at 8/7 Central, so tune in to get the answers to those questions and a whole lot more. Coming up next, we're going to have another preview for, this time, we're going to have a preview for Night of Champions.
I'm gonna be a champion. Yeah, I got what it takes. Risk it all, make my own fate. Yeah, I'm gonna be a champion.
In the current match card for WWE Night of Champions, WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins will defend his title against Sting. The United States Championship will be on the line, where Seth Rollins will defend against John Cena. The Divas Championship will be defended as Nikki Bella faces Charlotte. And in the six-man tag team match, the Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, and Braun Strowman will face Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and a mystery partner yet to be revealed. Again, this mystery partner may not be much of a mystery, but here are my predictions for Night of Champions. First and foremost, going to this mystery partner, whoever it may be, I have a very, very, very funny feeling it is going to be Eric Rowan. I mean, there's almost no question in my mind it should be Eric Rowan. Why? Because he's a former member of the Wyatt family. He knows them better than anybody else. He knows he knows Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper better than anybody else on the roster. So who else to fill the void? I mean, it seems pretty obvious. It seems logical. I mean, it's almost elementary. In fact, I've even heard rumors that WWE has spoiled that the partner for Ambrose and Reigns at Night of Champions, and it very well could be Eric Rowan. Who knows? I mean, I haven't seen the footage or seen the photos or anything like that because, personally, I hate spoilers. But, Also, moving forward with our predictions, but that's just my prediction on the six-man tag. I do apologize, my mic just fell off my stand here. Power Live Television, folks. Power Live Podcasting. Right there. Moving forward with the other... Okay, I'm just going to do this. I do apologize for that. Anyways, moving forward, as far as the other two championships on the WWE roster are currently concerned, them being the Intercontinental Championship and the Tag Team Championships, I have my theory of who's going to be facing who in those two matches at Night of Champions. My first theory for the Intercontinental Championship is that Ryback will defend against Big Show. This one seems pretty obvious to me because Big Show and Ryback have been feuding for several months, and they last encountered each other in a triple threat match at the SummerSlam event back in August. So they very well could have a one-on-one match for the title this in less than 2 weeks at Night of Champions. Again, this is only speculation, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if that was the case. And again, the last championship that needs to be defended at Night of Champions, since every championship is on the line, is the WWE Tag Team Championships. As previously mentioned, the Dudley Boys have returned to the WWE with a vengeance, and my theory is they're going to get the championship match that they need, as opposed to the Primetime Players getting their rematch, simply because the Dudley Boys need it. I mean, it's plain and simple. The Dudley Boys, they just need that last championship to make it a solid run and a solid return to the WWE. Now, this doesn't mean they have to win the championships, but in my opinion, they do. In my opinion, they have to win the championships, and just that's going to make the build for their feud later on. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Again, live podcasting. But anyways, being the Dudley Boys, I mean, this has to be their last run in WWE. There's no way they can go another run in WWE and have it be successful. I mean, there's almost no chance. There's really no chance that this could happen, you know? That being said, it seems most likely that the Dudley Boys are going to win the Tag Team Championships at Night of Champions. If they don't win it at Night of Champions, then they have to win it before the end of the year. Maybe they're building something at Survivor Series, maybe something at the Royal Rumble, but my prediction is the Dudley Boys win the tag titles at least once, if not a couple more times, just like the New Age Outlaws. Then they leave the WWE, retire, and then automatically get put into the Hall of Fame in a similar situation as Edge or Shawn Michaels or somebody to that effect. But that's just my opinion. I mean, my opinion, of course, doesn't really matter because I'm just the average wrestling fan here. But, you know, it is what it is. And who knows? My prediction could be right. So, you never know. So, that's basically... I think that's basically going to do it for us here on the first edition of WrestleChat TV. I don't think it was very successful as I thought it would be, but of course, tell all your friends, tell all the people you know that, hey, this is one of my next favorite wrestling podcasts, and who knows, this is just, of course, a test run. I've never done a podcast before, so I don't have this experience, but that being said, I think it's time for me to sign off, ladies and gentlemen. So that being said, I am Andrew Vega, and this has been WrestleChat TV. Please, everybody, have a great day, have a great Labor Day, happy Labor Day. Go out and have a nice barbecue, enjoy Raw tonight, and I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you very much, and good day. I can get through